Well, today's episode is going to be a very, very fun day. We're going to be reviewing much of the recent events. As you know, in Japan, we have Golden Week happening. Stardom has just begun their first show on the 29th of April. I forgot where they were at, but it's going to be interesting. And of course, New Japan Pro Wrestling has Wrestling Dontaku, where most of the will be five title matches be on the line. Mostly will be the IWGP World Heavyweight title will be the main focus at the end, but other title matches will be awesome. And of course, we got AEW Dynamite, where we're gonna see, of course, will Darby Allin and Jungle Boy will be able to coexist and head to Double or Nothing to turn their AEW World title into a four-way. Well, we're going to be seeing what's going to happen. Of course, we got some news updates to tell about what has been happening, such as which promotion is booking what, who's going to be participating, and the whole enchilada and other news updates we definitely going to be talking about. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. So, let's begin with Stardom. They're part of the Golden Week Fight Tour. This just begun recently on the 29th, this past weekend. Let's get started. Our opening match is a three-way. We have, of course, the two rookies, Aya Sakurai Hanako versus Zuzu Suzuki. Now, keep in mind, Suzuki will be participating to the entirety of this Golden Week tour. There were some good moments, in fact, where, of course, we see Aya Sakurai and Hanako try to beat the crap out of each other while they got rid of Zuzu. But however, Zuzu applied the Grandmaster Tequila onto, I believe, onto Sakura to give herself a good win. So it's a very good start for her, starting the Golden Week. Our next match, we have Club Venus, consisting of Xena and Jessie taking on Stars, Zaya Ida, and Hana. Now, as you know, Club Venus have shown many times how good they can be. They're one of the most popular units that we have seen so far, and they were able to pull up a good win when, of course, Xena applied the Thunderstruck onto Saida, giving her 1, 2, 3. It was over right from there. Next up, we got the members of Queen's Quest, more consistent of Mayu Amasaki, Sai Kamitani, and Utami Hayashida taking on God's Eye, consistent of Suri, Ami Sode, and Mirai. You know this is going to be a good match, not to mention Utami and Suri have been very good rivals for when they were, well, when Suri was chasing Utami Hayashida for the red belt. But however, the focus now is, of course, we're seeing Ami Sori and Mirai as our current Goddesses of Stardom Tag Team Champions, which is going to be good. But it was, of course, Mirai with the Miramar, the Miramar onto Miyamasaki, forcing her to tap, giving God's Eye the win. Next up, we got the members of Oedo Tai, consistent of Ruka, Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, Natsuko Tora. They take on the members of DDM, consistent of Tekla, Mai Sakurai, Micah, and Julia. Now, you know how Oedo Tai is. They like to cut corners, they like to cheat. That's always been their gimmick, what's going to be at. However, it was Micah. Well, there was a good moment where Saki Kashima took Micah right in front of Rossi, grabbed his hand, and tried to have him pound the back of the head. I don't know if what Rossi felt like. He was like, "What the hell? Why you're doing this?" I mean, I know Saki likes to harass him at certain times, not to mention steal his phone just to take photos. But however, it was Micah with the Michinoku driver that defeated Saki Kashima to give DDM the win. However, Micah put out a good promo how sad things are changing, knowing the fact that Himeka will be retiring soon. But of course, they gave the mic to Sakurai with her ladyship going around and all this and that. And of course, everybody did the pose that she does. So we'll see what happens there. Our next match is a high speed match. Well, let's call it a high speed because we have Starlight Kid and Koguma. They team on Mei Seita and Azumi. Now, keep in mind, Azumi and Seita will be facing each other at Fukuoka at the pay-per-view on the 4th. Well, that's tomorrow, of course. But, however, because today's the 3rd. So, anyway, that match was pretty good. I have to say, it was exactly like I expected with the high speed, but it ended with a 15-minute time limit draw, which, of course, here in the U.S., it would say it sucks, but nonetheless, that's how it was. Now, our next match, we have tag team action. We got the members of Neo Stardom Army, Yuna Mizumori and Nanane Takahashi. They take on Azuki and Mayu Iwatani of Stars. However, when Endo was in fact announcing the Mayu Iwatani, she forgot the IWGP Women's Championship belt. She should have had it, but she didn't. So basically, she screwed up. But however, this match, you could tell like it was going to be a very interesting matchup because you know how Nanane Takahashi, she's a veteran, but it was Mayu who picked up the win um, onto Yuna Manaze with the jackknife. 1, 2, 3, it was done just like that. Now, our main event. This was a very interesting matchup, and I believe many fans. Now, I did talk about them many times, and I will do another DWZ discussion, calling it Part 2. It's Club Venus, consistent of Mirai May, Waka Tsukiyama, and Mina Shirakawa. They take on Cosmic Angels, the new Cosmic Angels, Sayori Inoi, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano. But what was interesting is that Waka comes out and calls out Sayori Inoi, and then of course Mariah May decides to get in her face. So basically, they try to show no fear to Sayori Inoi, who is an absolute beast in the ring. If you guys ever seen her, she is amazing. Everybody knows who she is. You probably know what she's capable of. However, this is more of a preview match with it to come on Fukuoka. As you know, Natsupoi challenge was nominated by Mina for the Wonder of Stardom belt, but in this case, it was the Fairy Strain by Natsupoi onto Waka to give them win. Now, in the post-match promo, Natsupoi called the traitor team. Now, some people questioned it, saying, wait a minute, Natsupoi, you are a traitor. You betrayed DDM. Now, people call Tam Nakano a traitor because she left Mayu. Now, there's two different distinct traitors that I see in this picture. Tam, what she did to Mayu, in my opinion, certain people can agree that it wasn't a betrayal. It was more like, look, I'm sick and tired of you, Mayu. I'm out of here. I'm done. But Natsupoi, her betrayal with Julia was more like she knew that she couldn't be around them anymore, so she made the drastic measure, the Scarlet. Mina, on the other hand, she left on her own accord. But Natsupoi's point of view is more like, you betrayed Tam. And I think that's what it was. In my opinion, I feel like Natsupoi is trying to protect her, and I get it. But however, Mina made it clear that she wants to have a match with Tam to have both belts, the white and the red belt. I think this is something that Tam talked before, but it hasn't come into fruition. But however, I have the distinct feeling that I don't know if that's going to happen due to the fact that as soon as this match between both Mina and Natsupoi is done, I have that distinct feeling something's going to happen. But we'll wait until we get to Fukuoka as we speak, because it's going to happen real soon. I think that's pretty much it right now with Stardom. So let's move on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestling Dontaku. So let's get started. Our opening match, we have the House of Torture, Dick Togo show, Yujiro Takahashi and Evil. However, these scumbags stole the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles, and they were telling the ring announcer to declare them, both Yujiro and Evil, as the champions, which is very disrespectful and disregard to everything. They did not win these titles. However, their opponents there are none other than Chaos, who they've been a thorn in their side, Toru Yano, Yo, and of course Bushiman, Yoshihashi, and Goto. As you know, Dick Togo, Evil and Dick Togo are trying to tell them, no, Yujiro and Evil are trying to say, you guys have no business in being involved. But however, the match went exactly how it was going to go. It was, of course, with the Shoto onto Togo to give Chaos the win. But however, the beatdown happened by the House of Torture. But luckily, Aussie Open showed up. However, Aussie Open said that they respect Bushiman because they earned the right for a rematch. But as for House of Torture, they don't respect them. But however, they know for a fact that no matter what they try to do to ignore them, that they're not going to give them a shot. So they made an executive decision. How about we turn this match into a three-way? Of course, because no matter what Aussie Open tried to do, they know the House of Torture is going to try to get away with it. But they believe that they will prove once and for all why they are the best tag team, even though they don't believe that FTR still is. But we'll see what happens. Now, our next match we have is the United Empire, more consistently with Aussie Open and Great Khan. They take on the members of TMDK, Vegeta, Haste, and Nichols. Mostly, I saw the focus on Vegeta, who is trying to get in the face of the Great Khan, but however, that came in no use due to the fact that Khan applied that submission move onto Vegeta, and boom, it just gave them the win. Now, as for the other members of the United Empire, consisting of Hinare, Akira, and TJB, they take on Shota, Shota Umino and Jet Setters, Knight and Kushida. You know for a fact that Akira and TJP will try to do whatever it takes to get those titles back. But however, it was the inside cradle by Kushida onto TJP that allowed them to pick up the win. This is another big step for them to establish themselves as a strong tag team in the junior heavyweight division. But that's how it rolls. Now, our next match, we have LIJ, Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito taking on the members of Just 5 Guys, consisting of Doiki, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Taichi, along with Taka, who's on the ringside. You can tell this match is going to be brutalized, not to mention going back and forth between Taichi and Shingo when, of course, Taichi defeated Shingo for the KOPW title. But in this case, it was a submission by Taichi to Bushi, forcing him to tap out, giving Just 5 Guys a pretty good win. But we will see them later because they will have to support their guy, of course, Sanada. Now, our next match is the first of the championships we have. We have the strong openweight title between Hikuleo and Kenta. Now, Kenta won this belt against Fred Rosser thanks to Juice Robinson. But however, you know Kenta will try to do whatever it takes to ensure the belt stays where it is by cheating, cutting through. But seems nothing was working until Hikuleo chokeslammed Kenta, and of course, 1, 2, 3 are brand new, a strong openweight champion. So I think this is a pretty good sign that Hikuleo, this is one of many titles that he'll be winning in New Japan as we speak. Now our next match is the IWGP World Television title. Now this match was set thanks to Jeff Cobb, who said, okay, you want my guys, Aussie Open, to put their tag titles on the line against your guys, Nichols and Haste. Okay, then you put that title on the line against me. So basically they had a deal. But however, as you know, Zack Sabre Jr., he knows that he's not facing some slouch. He knows that he's dealing with a guy who is tough and he's strong, and of course he's the technical wizard. He'll figure something out. But however, I have to say that Jeff Cobb really put him into the limits, but it ended with a time limit draw. So I don't think this is like, I mean, it's a good thing that Zack Sabre Jr. did not lose this belt. I mean, he was not under he was under pressure, but he did not waver no matter what Cobb tried to do against him. But it just happened. Next up, we got the never openweight 6-man tag team titles. We have Tomohiro Ishii, Tanahashi, and Okada taking on strong style Despy, Suzuki, and Narita. Now, this match was set upon by Narita when he issued a challenge to Okada to pick two partners of his choosing. He picked Ishii, but the third partner was someone who he thought he could have. Originally, he asked Yano, but Yano said no. But luckily, he asked Tanahashi. Now, Ishii was not too fond of it because he wanted someone from Chaos to be part of it, but looks like no one was available for it. So Tanahashi accepted. Now, keep in mind, this is a match where Okada has never won any tag team titles. He's normally been a singles guy, but luckily for him, this was going to be. But this match was going to be brutal, intensified because Narita wants a piece of Okada. But luckily, he did get a piece of him when Okada applied the Rainmaker, and boom, brand new, never open weight 6-man tag team champion. So this is the first time something like this happened for Okada, and it's a great thing. However, during the post match, Shota Umino comes out and he showed a video package that we did not expect. It's now been told Jon Moxley is returning to New Japan at Dominion in Osaka-jo Hall. This is going to be good, but we know that this is going to be interesting because they will challenge Okada and of course Tanahashi for those 6-man tag team titles. So Umino will be involved, so is Moxley. But the obvious question, who will be the third? That is yet to be determined until hopefully when Moxley arrives to Japan, or he will announce it before that. So we'll see. Now our next match is the Never Openweights Championship between David Finlay versus Tama Tonga. This is one of the most brutal matches you ever get to see. David Finlay, who said that Bullet Club needs to be, they're nothing but savages and killers. That's the direction he wants to take. He feels like, I need to gain the respect of everybody from Bullet Club before they get to me. So he wants to prove that I don't want to be the Bullet Club guy that gets kicked out or attacked from behind. But he really brutalized Tama. Even Yado tried to throw in the towel, but he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to piss off Tama Tonga. But of course, it was a trash panda that finished off Tama to pick up the win. And of course, this is a very good win for David Finlay to solidify himself, saying, yes, this is my rules, my way, how we do things. However, all of a sudden, while this was happening, a mysterious man shows up. It turns out to be El Phantasmo, looking for payback for what Finlay did to him back in Sakura Genesis. I think this is going to be good. But he also made a statement. He doesn't care if this is for the title. All he wants is to beat the crap out of David Finlay. So we'll see about this one. Now our main event is the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship between Hiromu Takahashi and Sanada. Now Sanada has talked about how he feels that Hiromu has, of course, disrespected the junior heavyweight division. But we know Hiromu has hanged out with guys bigger than him. I mean, look what happened with him in Evil. But this is the most brutal match he's ever been in. Not to mention, he tried to dodge every move that Sanada applied, even the deadfall, until finally Sanada applied the deadfall, giving him the 1, 2, 3. He retains the title, puts out a promo. However, we've been seeing this video of some sort of like chaos and rampage. We didn't know who it was until we saw it was the return of Yota Tsuji. It's still unclear what Tsuji's up to. We know that he went on excursion to the UK and Rev Pro, and then of course he went to Mexico. It's still unclear what's going on, but it seems like he's now targeting the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Some people on social media are comparing Yota as for what Kazuchika Okada did when he came back on excursion. So are we seeing another history being repeat itself? Who knows? But we'll see what happens as we long go during in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on to our final review, AEW Dynamite. Okay, our final review, AEW Dynamite. Opened up with an 8-man tag team match. Bandito, Orange Cassidy, they team up with Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. Now this is payback for Adam Cole against Jericho and the JSA for what they did to him and to Britt Baker. So the JSA consisted of Hager, Garcia, Menard, and Parker. Now you know Adam Cole wants to get his hands on none other than Jericho. But of course, Orange Cassidy, as always, as crafty as always, Jericho calling him lazy, but don't underestimate him. But luckily, in this particular match, it ended with, of course, with Adam Cole applying the boom and ended the match right there onto Parker. However, he made a beeline straight to Jericho right in the commentary booth, and they attacked them. And of course, security tried to separate them. The security even tried to take Adam Cole out of the building. Jericho telling the security guards to take him out, but he got himself bitch slapped by Britt Baker, teaching him a lesson. So I think this is far from over. I'm sure we probably have this match between Cole and Jericho at Double or Nothing. So we'll see what happens then. Now our next interview, as you know, Jungle Boy and Darby Allin knows what's at stake. They know that if they don't, that they have to win this match in order to turn their AEW World Championship match at Double or Nothing as a four-way. So they have to be more prepared than ever, and we'll see how that turns out. Now, Bullet Club sends out a very strong message. As you know, the Owen Hart Cup tournament will happen. Brian Danielson claims that he is far more better than Bret Hart in all this, but he believes that the Elite are not the sharpest team that they were back in the day. I mean, they were the most feared faction back then and years ago, but BBC is not completely convinced that they are. But we'll see when that happens, when we get there. Now our next match, we have Saraya along with the Outcast. They take on Willow Nightingale. Now you know how this is going to go. The Outcast will definitely try to run interference, trying to blindside the ref without seeing what they're planning to do, which of course Saraya did apply the turn page move on to Willow Nightingale. And then of course, however, we saw Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter show up, and here comes Hikaru Shida. Now, we thought originally what was going on, Hikaru Shida sides with the Outcast, but nope. It turns out that she sides with the homegrown. So basically, she sides with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. So, but not to mention, she wrote down the loser on their stomach, sending a direct message. Now, as you know, our current AEW Trios champion, the House of Torture, are issuing an open house challenge. Basically, they want to change the game. They're sick and tired of people making up the rules and all this. So they're trying to send a direct message. Who's going to win for the upcoming match for the Trios de Mayo, the Trios Battle Royal? We had many teams. I mean, we saw the Lucha Brothers team up with Hijo Vikingo, Dark Order, LFI, who else? Plenty others, but that match, I can tell you guys, I got confused, got lost. I didn't write notes on that one, but I'll skip ahead and tell you who won. We had the Acclaim along with Daddy Ads. They picked up the win when they eliminated the Butcher and the Blade, which was very, very good. Now, during an interview, the obvious question does remain with Sammy Guevara. Is he going to take a dive for MJF if they win this match? Well, we'll see how that goes. Even MJF tried to calm him down and all this and that. So we'll see. Now, as you know, the war between both the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club rages on. Now, Kenny Omega believes that Jon Moxley has a plan, but he's willing to put up a plan. But Don Callis hasn't forgotten the scar that he received the last time, so he's saying that Kenny will put him out of his misery one way or the other. Now, our next match, we have Wardlow versus Logan LaRoche. You can tell this one was a squash match, so he won by the Powerbomb Symphony. But however, he was getting irritated the fact that here comes Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. None of them had, he believes that Luchasaurus does not have the balls to take him on. But however, Christian Cage revealed something to him that I don't think he expected. We presumed from the very beginning, since the reemergence of Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, that they have something in mind. We just didn't know what. And then appearing at, of course, during Wardlow's matches, we thought, okay, Luchasaurus is gunning for the TNT title. That's something we could definitely see. But however, Christian revealed the belt is not for Luchasaurus. It's for him. So I think that kind of put Wardlow's like, really? So he doesn't know what to make of it, but we'll see how that turns out. Now, as you know, Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh are trying to ensure that they have their insurance policy with Mark Briscoe, so they go to his home in Delaware to the chicken farm that he owns, doing hard work and all this other stuff. And here comes Papa Briscoe telling him what in the world's wrong. He knows that Lethal and him go way back, but however, he doesn't trust, of course, the ones with the coveralls. And Lethal's like, Briscoe's like, which one? Both of them. He was referring to Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt. So, but they did put him in a match this coming on Rampage. I think he's going to have it against Preston Vance, so that's going to be interesting to watch. Now, our next match, we have, of course, Ricky Starks versus Juice Robinson. This was a match long time when I remember. Juice Robinson attacked Ricky Starks at his own expense. Tried to send a direct message, and here comes Jay White to interrupt. But however, Ricky Starks is not going to give up one way or the other, regardless what Juice Robinson does. But it was the Rochambeau that finished off Juice Robinson and Ricky Starks' win. But however, out of nowhere, here comes Jay White and attacks him from behind. And of course, Ricky Starks would definitely want to have a piece of Jay White one way or the other. Now, our main event features the match we've been expecting. Jungle Boy and Darby Allin taking on Sammy Guevara and MJF. Now, if Jungle Boy and Darby Allin wins, they will turn the entirety of the AEW World Title match into a four-way. Now, you probably think, okay, Jungle Boy and Darby Allin may not be able to get along, but we did see how MJF and Sammy Guevara did get along. But at some point, things started going south, and ended with, of course, when Darby Allin applied the coffin drop onto Sammy Guevara to give them the win. And this is the worst nightmare that MJF wanted. He did not want this match to take place. He wants to remain champion forever, no matter what he does. So we will be seeing what's going to happen in Double or Nothing. So I'm sure everybody's going to be excited for it. I think that's pretty much it for our reviews. Let's move on with news updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Now, as you know, in Marvelous, we had an interesting event, Marvelous 7th Anniversary in Korakuen Hall. This features Unagi Sayaka and Takumi Oroha, and of course, Miyu Momono versus Shikayo Nagashima for the AAAW Championship. However, at the end of the match between Unagi Sayaka and Takumi Iroha, now I will talk about that particular match at the Unagi Sayaka watch, but however, this is the post-match of that particular match. Here comes Mayumi Ozaki, the leader of Ozaki-gun, shows up and attacks Takumi Iroha with the chain. That was kind of interesting. However, it's more like their version of, like the Oz Academy are now making their way to Marvelous, and they're opening the forbidden door in their aspects. It was later revealed that on June 11th, both Takumi and Miyu will be appearing at Oz Academy on the 11th of June. So that's something we definitely going to be paying attention to. Now, if you guys remember, speaking of Marvelous, we were told that there was going to be several people and two people involved in the upcoming tour with Marvelous in Japan. We know that Sandra Moon was the winner for the female side, but the male side was not revealed. West Coast Pro has announced for their guy who participated. It's JT Thorne. He's the winner, and he made his debut recently on the 7th of on the anniversary event at Korakuen Hall at Marvelous. This is good news, so hopefully they have a good time. Just can't wait to see what else they're going to do. Now, as you know, when NXT UK dissolved, we had no clue what's going to happen to the stars. Eddie Dennis returned to doing independence, but Eddie Dennis announced that he was retiring from pro wrestling. However, WWE has rehired him, but not as a wrestler because he's retired. They rehired him to become a writer and a producer. So this is a good thing. He will be far behind. I don't know what kind of source he'll be doing, but that's going to be good. Now, Actwres Girls has announced that they will be participating in 2 Comic Cons in Japan. The first one will be in Osaka, Japan, for a 2-day on the 5th this month, the 5th and the 6th, and of course, the Tokyo Comic Con. No specific dates or any info who's going to participate or what. Sparks, Joshi Puroresu of America has announced that Rina Yamashita will be participating in both shows, the Ignite East and West, on the 11th and 16th of June, much like Miyu Yamashita, so that's going to be interesting. AEW has announced that they hired Will Washington to be their coordinator, PR guy, and whatever job he's getting, and I've been hearing a lot of good positive vibes from him, from many people who talk great deals about him. So it's great to hear that they're going to have something cool. Now, as for our final updates, we have the GCW updates. For The Way I Am on the 20th of May, Karam will be making his return to GCW, so that's going to be good. For the Deathmatch Hall of Fame on the 3rd of June, they announced for Mike Bizek, who's now the 4th inductee in the Deathmatch Hall of Fame. As for the Tournament of Survival 8 on the 3rd of June, Casey Kirk will be participating. 2 returns to different shows. The Ride or Die show returns to Chicago. They return to Chicago for Ride or Die on the 23rd of June, and on the 24th, they return to Huntsville for Mastermind. So this is really good news for any of my subscribers who are GCW fans. Then you guys should be marking your calendars, get your tickets, and all that. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode coming up. As you know, we have Impact Wrestling and ROH. However, as we speak, we have, of course, the latest event by Stardom. I'll probably will do that right away. I'm still like only 4 shows behind from GCW. I will get to those as soon as possible. Also, a bigger announcement. I'm not sure how things are going to be for this weekend, for this Saturday for me, due to the fact I'll be busy doing other things with family thing. But I will be watching, of course, the Backlash event. I'm not sure if I'll be doing the review. If not, then we'll see about that. But I'm so excited to see how things are going to go down in Puerto Rico for WWE. But as I said, for the next episode, it will feature ROH and Impact Wrestling, and of course Stardom with the Fukuoka event on the 4th. Now we will see how this one's going to turn out. I'm so excited. This is going to be fun. I think that's pretty much it. So I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.